What if everything you know is wrong?
Let's be honest, if you're a parent or you even just know one, you've probably felt it. Parenting today just feels intense, right? It's more complicated, it feels way more demanding, and it's like you're under a microscope all the time. But is that just in our heads, or has something really fundamentally changed about how we raise our kids? Yeah, this quote from Lauren Wadowski, it really hits home, doesn't it? It captures this feeling of a totally different era. For a lot of us, childhood was more free range, less supervision, more just figuring things out on your own. It's a world away from the super scheduled, constantly monitored childhood that feels like the standard today. So, what gives? How did we get from there to here? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the forces creating this modern parenting pressure cooker. We'll look at the internal stress, the crazy external costs, and how parents are trying to navigate it all. All right, first up, let's talk about the internal strain. I mean, the psychological and emotional weight that parents are carrying around every single day. It is a heavy, heavy load. And it turns out the way that load is being shared is, well, it's not what you might think. For years, the whole conversation about parenting stress, especially in places like Sweden and Germany, has been framed as this major public health issue. And the story has almost always centered on moms, right? Because traditionally, they've shouldered more of the childcare and the household stuff. But check this out. A 2025 German study completely flips that script. When they measured overall parenting stress, they found something pretty shocking. There was no real difference. Dads and moms reported equally high levels of stress. The numbers were basically identical. Okay, but here's where it gets even more fascinating. When the researchers started digging into the types of stress, a huge difference popped out. Fathers reported way more stress related to attachment. Basically, they were struggling more with feeling close to their child, with building that deep emotional bond. So while the overall stress level is the same, the pain points can be totally different. So what was the number one thing driving all this stress? For both parents, the study was crystal clear: an increase in family conflicts. That one factor had the biggest impact, which really shows that when things are tense at home, that's the main source of the strain for everyone. All right, so you've got all this emotional pressure bubbling up inside. Now, let's add in a massive squeeze from the outside. And yep, you guessed it, we're talking about money. Just take a second and look at that number. Seriously, $318,949. According to a new analysis, that's the estimated cost to raise a single child born in 2025. Wow. And get this, that estimate is for a regular, middle-income family, and it only gets them through age 17. The absolutely gigantic cost of college, that's not even baked into that number. Unbelievable. So where is all that cash going? Well, this breakdown tells the story. The three biggest slices of the pie are the absolute basics. Housing eats up nearly a third of it. Food is another huge chunk. Then there's childcare and education. We are not talking about luxuries here. This is just the fundamental cost of giving a kid a stable home. So when you combine that deep internal stress with this insane external financial pressure, is it any wonder that parenting styles have started to change? One of the biggest reactions we've seen, and one we've all heard about, is so-called helicopter parenting. So what is it really? Well, a 2024 review study defines it as a style of being overprotective. But here's the crucial part. It's not just about parents being individually anxious. It's a reaction that's driven by intense pressure from society, especially in these super competitive cultures where it feels like your kid has to win at everything. And this kicks off a kind of chain reaction. It starts with a competitive society. That leads to sky-high expectations from parents, which in turn leads to those overprotective helicopter behaviors. But here's the twist. The very thing parents are doing to help can end up backfiring, leading to kids with less independence and even lower self-esteem. Okay, so that's the pressure cooker we're in right now. It is a lot. So where do we go from here? Let's switch gears and look at how technology, specifically AI, might actually change the game. I mean, picture this, a world where those daily battles just get easier. Instead of stressing about what to make for dinner, an AI gives you suggestions. Instead of fighting over sleep schedules, an app helps you build a routine based on actual data. And instead of drowning in chores, maybe a home robot is handling the laundry. And it doesn't stop there. We're talking about smart homes that could automatically dim the lights for a baby's nap time, tiny wearables that give you an early heads up on health issues, or even personalized AI tutors that make learning actually fun instead of a chore. Now, all of that sounds pretty incredible, right? A total game changer. But come on, it's never that simple, is it? We have to ask, is this a real solution, or does it just come with a whole new set of problems? Because the big questions here are, well, they're huge. How do we protect our kids' privacy? How do we make sure we're supporting them, not just spying on them 24/7? And how do we make sure these AI systems are actually safe, that they don't just, make things up or say something dangerous? These are massive hurdles to clear. Look, at the end of the day, the goal isn't for technology to raise our kids for us. Not at all. The dream is that technology handles the grunt work, so parents can handle the heart work. It's about finding that perfect balance between that old school freedom and some new school intelligent support. Which leaves us with this one final question. Will all these powerful new tools finally let some steam out of the parenting pressure cooker and help us be more connected? Or will we just be trading one set of worries for another, creating new, invisible pressures we can't even see yet? That's the real challenge for the next generation of parents and for the tech they'll use.
Understanding begins with why.